Hello, social studies, all my students. Today's video is about latitude and longitude. When you get this packet, first things first, please put your first and last name on the paper, as well as the hour or the period that you are in class. Okay, it's a short reading today. Before we actually get into learning how to find locations using latitude and longitude, you are going to obviously need your pencil as well as the packet. So again, your name should be on the paper with period 1. We're going to number the paragraphs. There are 4 in total, so go ahead and number them 1 through 4. We are going to read, like always, with our pencil in our hand so that we're ready to underline as we learn important information about our topic, latitude and longitude. So I'm going to start with paragraph 1. Again, your pencil should be in your hand. Geographers have divided the world into imaginary lines called latitude and longitude to find our way around Earth more easily. Well, right away, I think it's important that I know that these lines are imaginary. In other words, I'm not going to be able to actually see them in the earth when we're walking around in Wichita or wherever we are. They're imaginary lines. Sentence 2. We also use latitude and longitude lines as reference to set the clock all around the world. Paragraph 2. Latitude. Lines of latitude circle the globe from east to west. Okay, I'm going to make sure I underline east to west so I know the direction that it goes. So, and I'll even draw a line. Okay, west. Okay, kind of like half of a compass. That's how our latitude lines run. Latitude lines are also called parallels because they run parallel to the equator. In my diagram, I'm going to go ahead and just circle the word equator so I know that it's goes right through the middle of the earth. Okay, paragraph 3, equator. The equator is another imaginary line that divides the world into exactly 2 halves. I'm going to underline the word imaginary line. The northern half is the northern hemisphere, and the southern half is the southern hemisphere. There are 180 degrees between the 2 poles, so there are exactly 90 degrees between the equator and each pole. Okay, paragraph 4, last paragraph, longitude. Lines of longitude intersect at the equator at right angles. They run from north to south, and thus they end at the north and south poles. Okay, I'm going to underline north to south. Okay, and I can also draw a line that indicates north to south. Okay, so that's how our longitude lines run. Next sentence. These lines are also called meridians. Meridians come from Latin, which means midday. The sun crosses each meridian in the middle point between sunrise and sunset. Okay, and we'll notice this dotted line on this diagram shows where the prime meridian runs through. All right, well, we've got this down. I'm just going to put a check mark by page 1. Each page of our packet is numbered to indicate that we've done that one. Okay, go ahead and turn the page to page 2. All right, at the top of page 2, I'd just like for you to write the words practice. You can write it anywhere at the top and just circle it. This page isn't exactly latitude and longitude, but the ideas are very similar, and it's going to help us get more comfortable as we learn this new way to find absolute location. So like always, we're going to read the directions first, and then we're going to go from there. So follow along as I read the directions. Find each of these California cities on the grid. Each city lies within a square that's named for the column and row that make up its sides. For instance, Bakersfield, California is in column G, row 7, which means it is in square G7. So let's do the first 2 together. and just see how it goes and practice and help one another. So Sacramento is the first city. So I see it here on the map where the dot is. And I'm going to, with one hand with my pencil and my other finger, I'm going to see what the column and what the row it's in. So I'm just gonna guide my fingers to the column and the row, and I see that Sacramento is in D as in dog and the number 4. So for Sacramento, I'm going to write D4. Okay, let's go ahead and practice. Let's go to practice problem number 2. That's the city of Los Angeles. So I look for Los Angeles. Oh, here it is. Okay, and same process. It's in this particular box, and if you want, you can even shade the box that it's in so that you are sure you know which box you're looking for. So again, we're gonna go up and then we're gonna go to the left. So if I go all the way up, I'm on F, and then if I go across, I'm on 8. So F8. Okay, so we did 2 together, one where we just used our pencil and our finger to find Sacramento. And the other one, we shaded in the box with the city of Los Angeles, and then that to kind of help us track. Go ahead and do the next 4 on your own or with someone seated nearby for those who might need some help. And then we're going to check our answers. So now let's pause the video. Okay. If we keep going, here's the answer key just so that you can check your work. Okay, we've got G10, we've got A2, C5, and then of course G7. Okay, go ahead and check your work. Okay, give yourself a check mark if you have it right. If you didn't get it right, just circle it, and we can go over it together. Okay, go ahead and put a check mark by page 2. We're gonna actually now do the real thing. This is page 3, so please turn to page 3. There's actually a space for your name. Go ahead and write your first and last name. Okay, latitude and longitude. So now we're actually gonna be working with the degrees. And so you'll notice, just to take a look at your map, we see that it's a map of the United States. It has some cities that are indicated on there. If you want, you can add in Wichita, but do that on your own because we're gonna keep going. And then we notice that we've got numbers on the side and the bottom of the map. The direction says, write the name of the city and state found at the given latitude and longitude coordinates. So to help you start with the coordinates, it's best to look at the direction the coordinates talking about. So for number 1, it says 33 degrees north latitude. So we should look for north, okay? Okay, if we look here, this is labeled north, and the one on the bottom is labeled west. So we know for 33 degrees north, we're actually going to need this side. Okay? We also notice that it goes by 10, 30, 40, 50, and if you were to keep going up, 60, 70. Okay? To make it easier, I would suggest let's split it in the middle. So in the middle between 30 and 40 would be what? Hopefully you said, or you thought to yourself, 35 degrees north would be the middle. So for 33 degrees north, let's just go ahead and count by 1. So we've got 30, 31, 32, 33. I would say 33 is about right here. I'm just gonna put my finger on that imaginary dot. Then I've got 112 degrees west. So very similar, these are all by 10. So we'll split the difference between 110 and 120 to get 115. Now let's count 110, 111, 112. I'm gonna just do a little dotted line. Okay, and I'm gonna do it on both ways. And it looks like, yep, right there, I've got Phoenix. So I just drew imaginary dotted lines. They're not really on the earth, but they're imaginary. But I'm gonna actually make them visible on my paper until I get a city that meets at the point. And that is Phoenix. So I'm gonna write that answer down. And it does say, remember, I'm reading the directions carefully. It does say to put the city and the state. So Phoenix, and then the state is Arizona, or AZ. All right, let's do one more together. So the next one is 35 degrees north. That's actually already marked on my paper. I added that in. And 78 degrees west. So we've got 70, we've got 80. In the middle is 75. I'm just doing that to help me out. So I can kind of split that in the middle. 78, so I'm going to count backwards. 80, 79, 78. This time I'm not going to draw dotted lines. I'm just going to use my fingers until they meet. Okay, looks like we're at Raleigh. And again, I'm going to put the state. That is located in North Carolina. Or I can just write NC. All right, go ahead and do the rest on your own. If you are unsure how to go on your own for number 3, meet me at the back table and we'll work on it together. Otherwise, try your best on your own. All right, that's it.